The DC Council has approved plans to turn an abandoned church in the Adams Morgan neighbourhood into a 5-star hotel. We'll discuss how the hotel will affect businesses in the neighbourhood. Chris Eldab has more on the story.
Adams Morgan is in the process of developing a luxury hotel. Developers plan on constructing the hotel around a historic church that was abandoned decades ago. That church is located in the heart of the neighborhood. I'm here in Adams Morgan, outside the church that will serve as the luxury hotel's foundation. Residents and business owners say that the hotel will improve not only the neighborhood's reputation, but its business as well.
It's not going to affect any of the people who bought before then, because we all have tax exempt if you lived in the housing, so it's not really going to help it. Actually, I think it will improve it. Actually, Adams Morgan was a luxury. When I came here, this was a luxury area.
Local businesses such as Pizza Mart say they're looking forward to the opportunities the hotel will bring.
Since we heard that hotel is coming in to Adams Morgan, I was very happy to hear that is a great news for the Adams Morgan. Not only my business, I think for the business for all of the Adams Morgan, which they're suffering at this time. We all need something like this.
Not everyone certainly is on board, as they say will drive housing prices up and increase traffic. But supporters say the hotel's benefits will outweigh its negatives.
This will provide over close to 300 jobs, and they have to be from this immediate area, Ward 1. And so that is quite a few jobs. And as a hotel, it's also going to generate daytime business for the other businesses in Adams Morgan.
Despite the opposition, the neighborhood finally has an answer of what to do with the building. In Washington, Chris Eldab, District Wire News.
I'm joined today in the studio by Chris Otten. He's the Adams Morgan, and he's on the Adams Morgan for Reasonable Development, and also joining is Teresa Lopez, an Adams Morgan resident. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks.
When you saw the film that we just showed, and also when you look at the plan of the construction, it's supposed to involve the community. It's supposed to bring in basically schools to have internships at the hotel. It sounds like a very, very reasonable project. How would you comment on that?
You want to start, Teresa?
Well, it's been lack of communication. The diversity on Columbia Road has been ignored. As you can see the video, they focus on 18th Street. And 18th Street, even by the president, is visited, but never Columbia Road up to 14th Street has been included in this. And we've been going to hearings at the zoning department, even with Eleanor Norton. And we're going to planning, zoning commissioners and ask them to sit down with us and explain us and take us, include us in this development. But they have ignored us completely, even though the law mandates that this news should be translated to Spanish, is being ignored by them. So it's just being, we're just being put under the rug by these developers.
Can I probably just interject? We actually have a short clip from the developer who claims quite the opposite. Maybe you Chris, can comment on that afterwards. We can just roll that clip real quick and then you can comment on that.
Associations. We've worked obviously with the Zoning Commission, Historic Preservation. It is very much a project that involves the neighbors in the community as well as the people of Washington, D.C.
Chris, when you hear that that the developer claims that he was working with the entire area, what would you say to that?
Well, I found it interesting that the segment producer for today's show, Ariana Woltstadter, was out there for 6 hours and had a hard time finding people who even knew about the project, let alone supported it. There were hundreds of people who signed petitions, letters against the hotel. The reasons being, what are the jobs being created? Why aren't they unionized? By the way, Adams Morgan has a very low unemployment rate. The people who live next to this building and across the street from this building are Latino families, immigrant families. They work hard already. They have jobs. They don't need low-paying hotel jobs. And oh, by the way, now the fiscal pressure is going to be increased on pushing these people out of the community, because a luxury hotel next to low-cost, at-risk apartment housing, something's going to give, and it's not going to be the hotel, obviously. The other aspect to this, as Teresa pointed out, is that there's a divide in the businesses. When a luxury hotel guest comes out of that hotel, they're not going to go north on Columbia Road to Latino Connection, to O Tasty, to Tacos Pepitos, you know, to Malik, Tienda Malik. These are neighborhood serving stores. They serve the people that have lived in Adams Morgan, that have given it its cultural and economic diversity. They're going to go down to the party zone on 18th Street. So there's a great divide. There's nothing substantiated on the record to show that all businesses in Adams Morgan are going to benefit from this.
You're basically saying is that it's geographically unbalanced. Maybe we can talk a little bit, because you've mentioned you know, the diversity of Adams Morgan, and I know that that was one of your biggest arguments as well. We have a little chart. This actually shows how many properties in the area are rented out. So a lot of people are actually dependent on rents, and that the rents are staying stable.
Right.
Maybe you can talk a little bit about that big issue of gentrification, and also as we can see, like, I mean, the district is the Adams Morgan is very, very diverse. What you know, you think this luxury hotel is going to change that?
Well, commercial rents are going to go up, and if the number of hotel guests and their purchases don't outpay the increase in rents, those small stores will have to go. And we're talking about the small stores along Columbia Road, not 18th Street. So there has to be an analysis done that hasn't been done about what types of businesses will benefit and which types of businesses will not benefit. And if they don't benefit, will they be displaced? It is very clear. The DC Comprehensive Plan says these type of projects need to be assessed for their impacts on the surrounding neighborhood. This has not been done. And this is at risk of our cultural diversity, of the people who make up the small businesses, the mom and pop stores, right? And that's what makes Adams Morgan unique. Yet they're willing to forego this for a luxury hotel. Not one of these stores got a tax abatement, yet this developer somehow got a $46 million tax break for this project.
Chris, I'm sorry I have to interrupt you there. I'm very glad that we got to hear your side of the story as well, seeing as we, you know, the other side is in the media a little bit more. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
And
Thanks for
good
your
luck
time.
with your
Thank you.
plans. Thank you.
Okay.
Coming up next, the Dean of American University School of Communication will join us to talk about the state of the media and give us the latest on the School of Communication's new home.